Hello everybody, you lovely people in internet land. It's me, Project, and I was going to bring you a special with and introduce you to Arnie. So, like I'm not like some kind of like idiot enough, I bought another one. First thing about this one is I bought this one on purpose, not by accident. And I want to say thanks to Withams Specialist Vehicles, who have been excellent and worked with me on this and sorted this out. So if you want one of these, they have a couple more. There's a few dotted about, and I'll explain why Arnie is different to Rosie. So essentially what we've got is the same chassis cab, so engine, gearbox, and most of the cab is the same, but it differs on the back. So as I walk you round, you'll see that where Rosie was a canvas back, Arnie has a big metal box with a huge amount of girders on it. So this variant is what's called a Falcon, which is, the Falcon is a radio system, and it's a radio box truck. That number on there is the registration number of the box, so the truck would have had its own registration and the box has its own registration. The part sticking out the back, you're not going to be able to see it if I do that because the sun's out. Look at it, sun's out, finally. This part here, that's the air conditioning unit for the interior of the box. So I'll just keep walking round, try not to get you in the sunlight so you don't get blinded, and then we'll go from there. So, that trusty troll there. Yeah. See, I've got nowhere where I can stand and show you that. So I'll try and get you a better view at another point. Down here, there you go. And then we'll go back up the front. Now, I haven't done anything to this. It's come straight from Withams via my trusted pals at Motorcraft, who organised the collection of it, the inspection of it, and then took it to the MOT centre and arranged all that for me, which was great because I couldn't do it because I had work commitments. So yeah, so you and I are going to explore this at the same time together. So let's go have a look. So first thing, the difference is on the year of these. This is a 2013 truck. Rosie was a 2007. So Rosie had her serial number there and didn't have these. So these are recessed points for the fitting the armour, exterior armour. So you would take those out and put armour in their place and then bolt onto the outside. Bar armour so that any RPGs coming in and hitting it explode further off and don't go through the door. Well, that's the theory. I think it's our bar armour. It might actually be solid armour, so I might be talking nonsense. Somebody correct me if I am. Put that in the comments. There's the ladder, which is inherently the same. Apparently they made a change to it, so we'll have to have a look and see if we can spot what that change is. So we'll come back to that. I noticed the obligatory random cable ties for no reason. Well, there'll be a reason, wouldn't there? Stuff like, I don't know, camouflage netting fastening down, stuff like that. So there we go. I think that's a slightly crooked mirror arm. I don't think that mirror arm is doing what it's supposed to do. I'll have to compare it. If you compare it to that mirror arm, you see that mirror arm sticks up and the other one goes down. Again, same as Rosie, heated mirrors from the off. courtesy of Rheinmetall and MAN. That funny socket there, the angular socket, is to hold the camouflage poles. So the camouflage pole sticks up, your netting goes over the top, hides your truck. You've got your obligatory mirrors, and remaining on this, you've got your HazChem plate in case you're carrying hazardous goods. Obviously I took that off on Rosie, but we'll keep that on here. Now here is the serial number for this, for Arnie. So he is 3661, sorry, 3661. So number 3661. You've got your air glands on the front for coupling, your pin tool for towing if you have to tow and recover, and all about that. I think that is slightly different. Let's have a look down there. Those are the horns, I think. That's slightly different. And I did pull one. I lied actually, because I did pull a nest out. There's nothing in it, but that's the one thing I have done. So, right, let's continue on round, and we'll get up in the cab, and I'll show you in here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the hatch. So, back in a sec, you don't have that embarrassing thing of me climbing up. Actually, I'll just zoom in on this. There you go. So there's your recess socket. That one hasn't got one in it. So all the others down here. Whoops, probably moved a bit too quick for you then. Sorry about that. If you felt like a lift was just dropping out then. So you can see that. Right, that's the inside of the door. Same setup. So you've got a door card, plastic door card screwed on. You've got your rifle holders here. So for clipping two weapons in. Fire extinguisher bracket, and then your hand grabs. I think that's changed, because that is where, yeah, that's webbing or rubber, not leather. I think it's leather in Rosie. We'll have a look. And then the seat's the same. You'll be able to see the difference in the seats now. I'll show you. Obviously, this is the original seat and how it is. It's like a kind of. It's supposed to be black, but it's, for me, it's just a very dark brown. I think, really, unless I've got weird eyesight. Yeah. Right. Oh, up we get. Okay, so we're in the cab up here. Same air conditioning unit, same mechanism for opening the coupler. So, or the hatch, a coupler. So you reach up, pull the handle, and that unlatches the hatch. Over here, take this handle, pull it out. You see that sprung on there? Push it down, and it lifts up. Then you swing it over like that, and there we go. Hey presto! And if you wanted to, if you're going to drive along with it open, well, that's what to do. You can lock it. You pull the handle out, and it locks into that there. It stops it from swinging back. Stops you decapitating your colleague if you're driving off road and they're looking out. So, okay. One of the things I noticed in here, there's a lot of extra kit. So I'm going to try and take you through it a bit at a time. I say extra kit, there's nothing in here that's been left that's secret. But I'm going to be gathering up bits and pieces as we go, because there's lots of things rattling in here. So if I take you back, one thing I noticed here is the foam is different. It's much more carpety in this one than in Rosie. You've got a feed there coming down. No idea what that is, where it comes from. That plate's extra there, and that whole thing, that's just a whole big world of whatever that is. These will be, I don't know, packs for radios, probably. You can see the earthing straps here. More earthing straps than I know what to do with. I won't be taking any of this out, so this truck, whilst it won't be performing as a radio truck per se, I won't be taking any of this out because it's staying as it is. Again, up here you can see this whole plate is extra. That's not in Rosie. And over there, that's as normal. So the TBM unit, they call it, the back to Munich box there, that's in there. And then the cab itself is the same. Got the same controls, although they're slightly better positioned actually than in Rosie because they're grouped together. It does bother me that in Rosie they're not grouped together. It's like a haphazard. So I'm just gonna sit down simply because, not because I'm knackered, just because it's gonna take me a while to turn around and everything. Oh, seat's warm. Sun's been warming it. That's nice. And then we'll go up here, which is kind of in it. I like this. I don't know what it is, but I hope I can make use of it because I'll just. These, I don't know what they are. I would love to know what they are. Obviously you've got something fastened here with a missing, that's an earth strap, because it goes into here, see? So obviously all of this for radio, all of these are loose. They've all been put back in, which is nice, but all loose. Imagine how rattly this is going along. So I don't know which of these actually holds this panel on. So I think I'll probably, maybe that one there has got big ones with these welded on. So I think I'll probably do all of these up and just fasten them up. Not one at a time. I'm not going to film it one at a time. You're all right. Don't panic. So, yeah. Now, that 11'6" was the same marker point in Rosie. And then it's got up there 7.5 meters, which I don't think is 11'6". So I shall have to double check. So we shall have a look. Right, I think that's about it for the cab. I'm going to tidy up in here and get all these loose crap. Well, maybe I'll leave that afterwards. There's a bit of a leaking fluid down there. I don't know what that leaky fluid is. That doesn't look good. It's a funny colour, unless it's just how it's showing up on the paint. It doesn't smell. I'm not going to taste it. It doesn't smell of anything except nothing, so I'm hoping that's water from somewhere. Cool. Free Army pencil. That's nice. They left me any change. Look at that. Look. I mean, I know we abandoned cigarette smoking a while ago. That is actually a clean ashtray that works and functioning, and a cigarette lighter next to it. And I don't know whether that's 24 volt or 12. Let's see what it says on it. I'll slowly rotate it around, see if any of you can see something. I haven't got my glasses on. Luckily, not used. Much. Does it say 24 volt? Be quite handy if I know. Anyway, never mind. I spent ages showing you a cigarette lighter. That's going to be rubbish, isn't it? I don't know what this is. Found this just up there. It's quite cool. Like probably a cable tidier or something. So let's have a quick look over here. There's a broken switch blank. Looks like someone stood on that or dropped some kit on it. That's slightly bent, isn't it? Heated mirror switches and the preheat. Interestingly, so there's the proof that the that socket is for the boiling vessel down there. Well done, Mr. Newton. You were correct. And then this time it's actually labelled, so it's quite nice. Yeah. All right. Onwards and downwards rather than onwards and upwards. I think one thing that I was going to show you, just noticed it again, is that orange lip there. Orange lip, orange different. So the four-wheel drive system's the same, the diff lock system's the same. What am I showing you here? So you can see, there you go, sorry. Diff lock system's the same. That's interesting. Oh, that's an extra diff lock switch there. What that's for? Anyway, why would you not have that in the middle of there? That's mad. Why would you put it over there and not there? Insane. Right. So, there we go. Right, we're out the cab on the roof. Thought I'd show you up here. So, again, what we've got is a camera basket, which are taken off. Then you can see down there into the engine area, spare tyre and such like. There's the exhaust which comes out. Now on this one bends over. This is another modification that they've done since Rosie, because Rosie's came straight up here. So Rosie came straight up in a pipe and then had one of those little flappy thingies on it, whereas this one doesn't. So we've got all sorts of things here that are different. We've got a little area. That is probably the I'm going to seal that up. That's probably those wires that come down underneath that I showed and don't know what they are. There's a little antenna there that's missing, it's been ripped out. We've got some nice anti-slip stuff up here. I'm not sure why we've got tape on nearly all of the bolt heads and stuff up here. I'm not sure whether that does anything, why it does that. Moving on, we've got part of the storage system for the radio stuff. There's some bits in there which I desperately want to go over and get hold of because they look quite cool. They're definitely some kind of step, I think. No, I say definitely. Look, can you see them? If you know what they are, give me a shout. I know what those collars are. They're for the masts, which didn't come with it. And then you can see some more back there, look. And there's that collar there with a resting point for the mast. So that's quite a cool thing. I want to get up there and have a look what that is. So I'm not sure whether I can zoom you in or not. How do you zoom in on this? So we'll have a look later. And that's the it's a nice day out here, isn't it? Right, back down. Okay, right, let's keep going. We're looking under here, we're looking at that. So one of the good things is, unlike Rosie, she had a little bit of rust around here. This is all nice and sound. We've got no surface rust. And Arnie's done about 8,500 kilometres. Rosie had done 44,000. So although 44,000 is nothing, that's still 8,000, like even less, isn't it? Right. Okay. So we've got the hydraulic fluid for the tank for tipping the cab and for getting the spare out. Look at that spare. That is brand new. Check it out. That's good. That's the result. Tipping the cab. Spare wheel. Up, down. That's fairly straightforward. Wheel chocks. Diesel tank. And then this is the bed here. You can have a look at this. Try and keep you out of the way. Those are going to be hanging around. Look at these. These are nice, aren't they? All these aluminium keys presumably go into that thing there and hold something into place. Obviously there's something went in there. Let's have a quick look here. Can't quite work this out. So there's a rail there. Does that look like it moved? I don't know. So there we go. That's interesting. Right, these come out. That comes off. It's your mast strapped into position. So, right, okay. There we go. So, take that off. Oh, nice. Oh, it's hanging on a thing. There we go. So masts, you can see the rubber blocks there, look. It's quite handy. And then that end is exactly the same, comes off that end, so you can put them on there. Neat. That'll come in handy in a bit. Put that way in. So get it out again. Sorry. Ugh, come on. There we go. Cool. Locker box. And what have we got here? Padlock. I think they're probably empty. You never know. Back in a minute, I'm going to get the key. Right. Which one? Haha! Now, there's two keys here. One of those isn't the right one for the truck. This is the truck keys. So I might be a little while trying to figure out which padlock this is. So I'll just pause you there. Right, got the padlock off. Let's get this off. So swing that up, swing that bar up, and come on. That's wedged in. That one won't come out because of the edge of that, so this one's got to come out first. It's like a really poor version of storage was this, isn't it? There you go, that's come out. Empty. Water anyway. Damn it. The price of diesel, I thought there was a couple of £100 here. Nope. Never mind. Right, we're moving on. So obviously on Rosie we've taken the mudguards back off. Taken the mudguards back off, taken the mudguards off. Right. I think that's different. I don't remember seeing that. Interesting. I'll have a look in a minute. Well, you won't, because they haven't got any flatbed on Rosie. Right. Fire extinguisher box. See if we're any luck. We have better luck than. Yes! Nice! Result. I suppose I should take it out and see if it's any good. Still in the green. Cool. And is it blue? Is it powder? Yeah, it's powder. Awesome. Well, that's not bad at all. That's a bit of a win. They need oiling up a bit because they're a bit stiff. Oh, sweet. Onwards. Right, back end. So this is the last bit to look at. Got that. That's not padlocked. And then down here, I'm probably going to have to put you down for this because I think it's going to take both hands. Ladder's in there, that's good. So I'm just going to put you here. You are not going to stand up, are you? When this comes out, see if I can get you wedged in while I do this. I might have to play some music while I pull this out. I'll go without scraping. There we go. Right, you ready? Let's go in and have a look. These are very similar to the Rosie steps, these. Just a bit bigger and heavier. And haven't got a handrail. Me with my dodgy knee. Right, door handle. Handily illuminated. Ooh, that's a big door. Come on. I'm the thickness of that thing. And here we are. There it is. What have we got? Obviously there's not going to be anything left in here. Nothing of any great use. A lot of cables, a lot of stuff, some racks. Ooh, hope that step sturdy. Oh, what is this? Right, I'm going to go and grab a light so you can have a look. Back in a minute. Okay, got some light in here so you can see. These are the old server racks that would be used. The white up around the edge, that big white thing, is the air conditioning that comes through from the air conditioning unit here. Should be there. That's the air conditioning unit. Whoop. There is just nuts, bolts, screws everywhere. A couple of documents stuck to the wall there. I've unstuck them so you can't read them. Can't hit pause and read them in case you're on the opposite side. So yeah, and there's just quite a lot of junk to remove. Yeah, let's check out some of the stuff in there. Get that down there. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to show you that outside. I forgot to show you. So the units on the back there, that wall. I want to turn the light around. Show you that side. It's like you can hear it. Nut scared everywhere. There you go. Mains plugs, switches there for you can isolate kit. Ooh, above your head, you've got isolation switches, lights, and cable trunking, etc. So curtain hooks at the back there. So you can put a curtain across the back door, and there we go. What was I going to show you? Brain's gone now. Ah, yeah, headroom. So I'm stood up, and I am just over 6 foot, 183, 184 centimeters. So I'm going to flick you around now, and then you can have a look at the roof. So if anybody's thinking about getting one of these and keeping it, and I've seen quite a few people buy them as to convert into expedition trucks, not the best idea. So if you're 5'7", no problem at all. So I'm slightly sort of stooped, my head's being pushed into my shoulders here, so I can't actually quite stand up properly. So I would say there's probably about 180, 1.8 metres inside. So yeah, if you were like 5'7", you'd be fine. But other than that, no. Right, back we go. That's about it, I think. It's quite cool. I haven't found anything like really, really cool. You know, not that I'm expecting to find. You never know. So, okay. Oh look, half empty packet of hand wipes. Woo, go me. I'll grab this view while the sun's behind the cloud. You can see the steps at the back, and you can also see at the top of there, on the roof, and you see that mast connector. So now I'm going to show you the last bit, which I forgot to show you before. These, so you've got vents outlet there. You've got these on here. That way, that way, that way, that way, that way. There you go. Look at that. Got all those. And you've got all those connectors, and you could put your own connectors in if you wanted to, if you were running it that kind of way. Similar on this one. Yep, you're doing those up again, aren't you? There you go. Power out, cables, and all the stuff. So. And this is similar on the other side as well. I'll show you this little win I've just got. Didn't realise, I thought, what's this? Pull this out. Side bed ladder for the chassis. Onto the load bed. So on the flatbed. So they quite often missing. So that's a bit of a quick win. Little win there. Cool. Okay, so we're going to go and take a look at the generator now. First thing I'm going to do is take this ladder out of here. You have to be careful because it's not the lightest thing in the world, and as I pull this out, it will want to drop to the floor like that. And then this. Okay. So that is going to clip up there somehow. Ow, mind your fingers. There you go. Ta-da! See? Now the clever bit comes in this point here. So we're going to flick that out, pull that pin out, and extend up the handrail. That's not covered in grease at all. Pop that pin back in, flip the catch down so the pin doesn't come out. There you go, hey presto. Get yourself a grease covered handrail. So I'm going to go grab a bit of blue towel, see if I can clean that off a bit. Get my hands covered in shit. Okay, so that's what that does. So I found out what that does. Take that out of there. Okay, that is a mast head, a mast collar. So, and then that pulls round like that, so it stows there. Do that again. Make sure I'm looking at what I'm doing this time. And that swings out, so the mast gets deployed out over the edge. Cool. That doesn't do up anymore. That's rotating. It's always going to do that because it's designed to. So it's going to bounce around. I don't think there's any way, apart from putting a mast in it, there's any way of doing that. So let's pop those pins back in. That's obviously not going to be the easiest thing. You're watching this flying around. I'm going to stop that. Okay, let me explain what goes on here. More part of the mast. Okay, all of these were loose, so they were rattling around. That was loose. So I fastened all this up so that it doesn't bounce around. This collar's allowed to rotate through 90 degrees. So this pin here, if we pull this out, and that allows that to rotate out away. It won't go fully out because I've fastened this on. Okay, but it basically rotates out through to 90 degrees out there, and then that allows that hinge, this plate, to pivot up, which I won't do because I think it's got another pin in it on the other side. Basically, goes out, pivots up. Okay, that's how that works. Cool or what? Nifty, I'll say. Let's pop this in. Now, answers on a postcard for what this does. Screws in there. That stops that from doing something. Screws into that mount. I don't know. Presumably it's bright red for a reason. Don't know. Just going to give you a bit of a tour of the roof there. Not many people get to see that from this angle. So you can see that is it's the air conditioning unit on the right hand side with the two big black fans where it says no step, and then the hatch that you can come out the roof. And also you've seen another bit of the video, those grip tape square rectangles there for walking around on the roof so you don't slip. And then the camo netting basket there with those spare parts in that I've just taken off. Well, not taken off. Parts that were loose in this basket here. So all good. Let's go and find out where they live. Okay, let's just see. Big test now. Generator test. So turn her on. You know that that indicator there, it's an air filter or DPF, so we'll have to get the air filter checked out. Fire up, or him up, sorry Arnie. Then we come over here, and this is the switch that Rosie doesn't have, and Arnie does. So we click that in. Lights on, you can hear a hiss, and then any minute now it's connected up there. There we go, and the revs rise up to run the PTO. So we're now running the PTO. Okay, let's climb down. Ready? So should now be running, and that button there. Let's try again. Right, so that didn't work. Let's see what we can figure out. So I know what you're thinking. You're looking at this now and going, well, why on earth have you bought that? You've already got a truck. And the answer is yeah, it's for a completely different purpose. So if you've been following me, you'll notice, especially on IG, you'll have noticed that I've been working with a group of people. So I'm one part of a team of people that are putting together some off-road training for these trucks. Or expedition trucks. So not just specifically the MANs, but the MANs is the area that I think we're looking at, is simply because they're a little bit more complicated than some of the other earlier trucks. And we're doing off-road driving, recovery, so how to avoid getting stuck, and if you do get stuck, how to get yourself out. And then we're also going to be doing a separate course about maintenance and problem solving out in the bush. So if you get stuck and you're out in the middle of nowhere, how do you get out? How do you get it fixed? So that's all been coming together. And one thing we noted is that a lot of people were interested but didn't have their own truck because their trucks were in build, and so they couldn't bring their trucks along. So the idea was that we have a driving instructor, a professional driving instructor, that is, a person who like either teaches the army or teaches Civvy Street for this, with qualifications and stuff. Not me. So I'm not an experienced 30 years off-road driving, but in four-wheel drive. So Land Rovers and stuff, not in these things. So I'll learn, but I'll leave it to the professionals. So we realised early on that people didn't have access to a truck. So there was like, how do you provide that? And I talked to a couple of companies that have these, and it was clear it was going to be the easiest way to do it was to buy one. Not the easiest way, the best way, because then we've got use of it. So the idea is that this came at a price where it's still relatively affordable. I'll put the price up that I paid, so I'm not saying that you'll manage to get another one for that, but have a look around. So talk to people, and there are trucks out there. Whether you want one with a radio box on or not is another question. So flatbeds are a bit cheaper. These radio boxes fetch a premium because they've got that box on the back. Some people convert them into expedition trucks or other things. So they do come with a little bit of a premium. So its primary purpose, Arnie here, is to act as a driving school vehicle off-road on a big driving course. And we're not talking a little kind of place. We've found somewhere. There's very few places in the UK that you can take one of these trucks off-road. The Army have the most places, and of course they're not letting people on. Just the likes of you and I can't go to up and go, do you want to borrow your off-road course? So there are a couple of places, and generally they don't like stuff this big. So you have to kind of meet a really good standard of knowing what you're doing and prove to people, which is when you're renting land and it's not cheap, and you have to prove to people that you're not incompetent. It's that's the place where money just doesn't talk. It's not how much you're paying, it's what you're doing. So yes, this is primarily a driver training vehicle. So however, if it's not going to be used as a driver training vehicle, guess what it does make? A really good command vehicle, because it's got a box, it's got shelter, it's got power. So if it's not driving, it can sit there and you can have the radio aerials in. We can put comms in the back, and it'll act as the comms truck, so for safety. So that's the other thing it can do. It can also act as a recovery vehicle. So we've got multiple avenues to it. And then when it's not working for Overland Academy, it's going to be I'm going to be using it for military shows maybe, but also a bit of TV and film work. So if you're into TV and films and you make them, you're a director or you're somebody who's connected to that, drop me a line. And if you're interested, obviously if you want a truck where 12 soldiers are leaping down at the back, dropping a tailgate and leaping down at the back looking all action like, this is not the wrong truck. But if you want something that's in a lineup of convoy of trucks, or you want it to replicate a radio vehicle or a command truck, then this is probably a good place to start. So that's it really. That's why. And now I've just got to go back him in. Back into the barn. Which is easier said than done, because it's not the fact that it's a tight gap, because it's relatively okay. It's actually because you can't see anything from the day. When the more sunlight there is outside, the darker it is in the barn. So you're backing into basically a black hole, which there's nothing there, but it's still unnerving. So Anyway, so I'm going to go concentrate on do that. So this is me project signing off. So catch you in a bit. Start him up. Away we go. I never tire of that sound. Laters.